you probably think being a polyglot it's pretty cool, right? Well, actually, it is. But I think no one talks about all the chaos that comes with it. If you're a polyglot, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, come with me que eu vou te mostrar que tem lados malos, un poco caoticos, ma anche lati belli, divertenti. いろんな言語を話すとき。Hi, my name's Camila, and I love learning languages. I always had this interest since I was a kid. I was always curious about it, but I only learned my a second language, when I was almost in high school. My native language is Portuguese. I was born in Brazil, but I always loved English. Wow, it was so beautiful. I learned English, and then after that, when I was in high school, I also started learning Japanese because I absolutely love Japan so much. Before I went to college, I also learned Italian, and when I was in college, I learned Spanish as well, and I tried to keep up with Japanese. Well, Italian and Spanish were fine, were okay for me because they're easy. I learned them really fast because they are Latin languages, right? They are similar to my native language, that is Portuguese, so it was easier. But Japanese has kanji. If you know a little bit about how Japanese is, you know that it has a lot of kanji. It's huge. And well, I didn't have much time because I was in college and I was also working as an intern. And after that, well, I work 9 to 5 and I take care of a house. But I try to keep up because I really love Japanese. And that's it. That's my journey briefly. Why Spanish and Italian? Well, because I think they're beautiful too. I love every language, okay? And I also have ancestry from Spain and Italy, and also Ukraine. So I really wanted to learn Ukrainian someday too. If you're a polyglot, it's probably because you love languages and you're very curious about it, right? So I am very passionate about languages. So one thing that I think happens not only with me, but with other people too, is that when you start watching a movie or listening to a song and it's from another country, it's another language, and you don't know that language, and you listen to it and you're like, oh my god, that is so beautiful, that is so different, I want to learn it. And it happens to me a lot. Sometimes I'm listening to a song and it's like French or Russian, and I'm like, oh my god, it feels so good, I want to be able to talk like that too. Mm, you know, I don't know. Oh my god, I'll sound like crazy here. Some languages just feel so good to speak, like you're tasting them on your tongue. That all of that is not on my script, okay? I'm just, and you have to be like, no, hold your horses, man. No, another language. No, you already have 5, 6 languages. Did you? No, stop. Your brain can't take too many of them. You know what? Because I have this analogy, it's a metaphor for languages. When you start to learn a language, it's like a baby language. So you have to take care of it in the beginning. You have to spend a lot of time with this baby for this language to grow up fast, right? Because you don't know anything yet. You don't have much vocabulary. You don't know much about the phrase constructions. So you have to dedicate a lot of time with this language baby. But okay, after some time, you dedicated a lot of time with this baby, has fully grown and it's an adult now. You already know the language. All you have to do is practice for time to time. And that's amazing because now you don't have to dedicate that much time to maintain. this language. You just have to practice it. And then you decide to get another language, and it's the same process. And another one, and the same process, baby. I think this is the first time you guys will see this kind of metaphor for languages, but okay. And then, even though you have a lot of adult languages, fine, I don't have to dedicate that much time for each one of them. But there are a lot. And you have only free time to dedicate a little bit of time for each one of them. So none of them disappear, right? It's like relationships, I guess. I'm bringing I'm bringing you guys into my mind, into my crazy mind. But that's the best metaphor I have in my own head. For me, it's like that. If you don't have much time, you can maintain all of them, even though it's just a little bit of time for each of them, but there are many of them. So there's no way you have to practice if you don't want to lose stuff, because our brain won't just keep information. If you don't use some kind of information for a long time, our brain's like, okay, this is not useful for us anymore. Bro, I'm not gonna keep this thing here if you're not using it. And this happened to me in high school. There was a period of time I didn't have much time to practice my English, so I was losing it. I was losing a lot of vocabulary. My English was awful. And I cried. I was so sad. That happens. There's no way. So I think the first thing I want to share with you is about the difficulty of maintaining too many languages. Yeah, this is real. If you're a polyglot, you can relate to. If you're not and you want to learn a lot of languages, yeah, that's it. But we can do some stuff to maintain some practice in our daily lives. Like, for example, we can put our phones in a language that we are going to practice the most. For example, my phone is entirely in English. Actually, I should set it for another language because I already use English too much. Because when I'm gonna watch something, a movie, some series, I don't know, I watch it all in English. When I'm gonna read a book, English. So everything I do, like my free time, I'm already watching. Why would I watch in my native language? So I put the language I want to practice. That's why I said I actually shouldn't put it in English because I already used too much. I should put it in Italian or Spanish or Japanese even. It's better. So you can use every day without even feeling you're studying actually because you're using it naturally. Another tip, if you like to keep a diary, you write about your day or the tasks you have to do in your day, you can do it in another language too to practice. So a lot of things you can put into your routine. If you speak more than one language and you feel like your voice or like your personality changes on each language, it's not just you. A lot of people say the same thing, and there are actually studies about this. Yeah, so this actually happens. This is called phonetic accommodation. For example, when I speak English, I feel like my voice is a little bit lower. I was gonna say slower. No, lower. And when I speak Portuguese, I feel like it's like wide. Tá entendendo? Consegue entender? Não sabe? Consegue diferenciar um pouco? Não sei. Well, in Japanese, I feel like there is a huge difference, not only for me, but for other people too. Like, なんか可愛いでしょ. But yeah, anyway, there are studies about this. People subconsciously adjust pitch, rhythm, and articulation to match phonetic patterns and social norms. When we learned our native language, we were a baby, right? So how did we learn our language, our first language? We listened to our family, our mom, or our friends, everyone around us speaking the way they speak with not only their native languages, but with their accents, their way of speaking, the slangs, everything. So it's like we take everything around us, shaping our way of speaking. It's like that in another language. Even though you're not a baby, you do the same. If I'm learning a language, for example, I learned English and I really liked watching YouTube, and I used to watch people who are not Americans or from England, nothing like that. They were like from different countries. They speak English. I kind of took a little bit of everyone's way of speaking. So that happens. It'll shape the way you speak depending on who you're listening to. So that's it. It's like we're culturally tuning in. And that's crazy. That shows us how language has culture inside of it. Even how we sound. I'm actually planning on doing a video about a lot of very interesting stuff about how culture is inside a language. So how languages shape actually the way we see the world. And yeah, there are a lot of studies about this. It's crazy. But anyway, I'm gonna make this video later. And hey, if you're liking this video until now, don't forget to hit the like button. Okay, this happens to us even for people who don't speak multiple languages. We sometimes forget words in our language, but it's awful when we remember the word in every other language plus the language you're speaking at the moment. And then you're like talking to the person and you forget a very important word and you wanted to say, and you remember in every language and you just can't say it because the person maybe don't know the other language. So you're like, oh God. It's awful. Tell me if you have gone through this. Some languages have unique words, and it's awful when you need to express something that in the language you're speaking at the moment, this language doesn't have the word you're looking for. So you have to try to explain it in a longer phrase. I think Germans can relate because they have lots of words for describing specific things that other languages don't have. If you want to try to say the word the Germans use, you have to make like a long phrase for explaining it, trying to transmit the feeling, to transmit the meaning. And that's the sad part about translation. Translation can't translate 100%. That's so sad because we find an equivalent in another language. But this equivalent, it's not like it's 100% the same thing. It's just an equivalent. So that is very sad. Sometimes, not every time, but sometimes when I'm speaking a language and I say a word in another language, like for example, I'm speaking Portuguese and then I say a word in English. Sometimes my brain just switches to English when I speak that English word and keep going. And it's not like it's on purpose. It's really automatic. Like my mouth moves faster than my mind can think. Please tell me if this has happened to you before, because that's really crazy. Did you know that learning a language actually changes your brain? Studies using brain scans show that people who speak more than one language often have denser gray matter. It's that part of the brain responsible for processing information. This means more connections through neurons, helping the brain work more efficiently. Learning languages also strengthens white matter. It's the network that connects different brain regions. So this improves communication inside the brain, boosting memory, focus, and problem-solving skills. Even if you start later in life, like when you're old, it still creates more new neural connections, and that's really good for getting older healthier because it helps with Alzheimer, for example. There are studies saying that it actually delays Alzheimer. That's really cool. So the combination of learning new words and practicing them acts like a workout for your brain. Take your brain to the gym, languages gym. I learned Spanish and Italian almost in the same period of time, so I still have a lot of trouble not mixing them because I mix them all the time. It's so hard because they are similar between each other. They are similar to Portuguese too. But anyway, don't study similar languages like Latin languages together. No. Study one like very well. Get that fully grown baby, okay? Then you take the other one because it gets messy, man. It gets messy. But if you want to learn like Japanese, Korean, I don't know, a different language with a Latin language, like different languages, okay, then it's fine. No problem at all. If you speak more than one language, have you realized how humor is different between cultures? Because humor tone is different in different languages, and language and their intonations play a very important role on humor. So even if it's translated, in a lot of cases, it can't carry 100% of the joke. It can't carry its feeling, its essence. You know what I'm talking about? And getting to know different languages makes you get the feeling of different humor, and that is amazing because they are all very funny in different ways. And it's so sad when you can't fully share a joke with someone that doesn't speak that language, because sometimes when you explain the whole context, it's not funny anymore. And you're like, no, I swear it's funny. Learn Japanese, I swear it's funny. Oh my god, there are so many things I want to talk about. Like, there are so many fun things, interesting things, but I can't make one video with all of that because it'll be like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. So, I'm keeping some very good ones for part 2. I'm gonna make a part 2. Yes, I'm gonna make a part 2. I'm not gonna spend all of them in part 1. No, a lot of good ones are in part 2. And hey, if you think this video was fun and interesting and maybe made you a little bit smarter too with informations, please subscribe so you can stay in tune when I post new videos just like this one. I'm excited to see you around and interacting with me. And that's it, guys. Bye.